Hey guys, Renesmee here. Today I am back with the most demanding video. What if Bella slept with Alice? What if Bella slept with Alice? Lesbianic Bella. Let's get started. 18 plus, please read at your own risk. Only shot lemon circa. Trust me Bella sweetie, it's amazing. It works wonders for stress and you could use some stress relief these days. My best friend Alice Cullen tried to tell me as I drove down the road, but I just rolled my eyes. Apparently there was a new beautification and massage place in the Los Angeles area which really wasn't anything new, but people were buzzing about how it was different. It's apparently strictly girls only and you can only understand how amazing it is if you go there. If I say yes, will you come with me? I asked her and she squealed in delight. Annoying pixie. Oh Bella Swan, you will not regret this, I promise. Just promise me you won't freak once things get started there. She said. I immediately became skeptical. What do you mean? I asked her. It's a secret till you get there, baby girl. She said cryptically and I sighed. Yay, sure, I promise. I said, and she squealed so loud I had to pull the phone away from my ear. I pulled the phone back to my ear when she stopped squealing, but she started chattering away quickly. Okay Bells, you won't regret it. I'll make the appointment for this Saturday and I'll pick you up at noon, baby. She said, and I rolled my eyes before the phone went dead. Alice, what am I going to do with you? I asked aloud to myself. Alice Cullen has been my best friend since 8th grade. But about 10 years ago in 9th grade we took it to the next level. We were of course hormonal, curious teenage girls, but every girl has her needs. We started exploring each other's bodies and then realized we were both bi. Then we got a taste of boys and realized we were lesbian, and we dated in secret for 2 years until we decided it was better to just be friends. Up until about a year ago we stuck to that until she came to my doorstep drunk and all over me. Needless to say, we hooked up. Now we're friends with benefits and I think I'm in love with her, though I'd never tell her that. I sighed, shaking my head to clear my thoughts as I pulled into my parking spot at my apartment and turned off the car. Once I got to my door I unlocked it and pushed it open. My cat meowed from somewhere in the kitchen as I set my things down. I walked into the kitchen and laughed as my cat meowed continuously at the food bowl. I got out the cat food and fed the cat before deciding to fix simple spaghetti for dinner. I got the ingredients out and started the easy task while taking off my scrubs in the kitchen. I laughed at the good things about living alone without realizing that the curtains were opened. I heard my phone ring and I pulled it out, answering it. Hello, I said, and I heard Alice giggle. Nice bra, she said, and I turned around facing the window. Alice was across the way in her apartment laughing and I blushed. Oops, I forgot to pull the curtains. I explained. Sure you did, but anyways, what are you fixing? She asked. Spaghetti. Want to come over? There's plenty here. I said. I'd love to, but I have to rest if we're going to the massage place tomorrow. She said. Okay, well, see you tomorrow. I'll be over early to dress you. She said before hanging up, and I groaned, already dreading Bella Barbie. After eating I watched True Blood for a while and then decided it was time for a shower and sleep. I walked to my bathroom and pulled off my bra and panties. I stepped into the hot water and stood there letting my tense muscles relax. I washed my hair and body thoroughly and then realized that my 7-inch vibrator was still sitting on the built-in shower seat. I stared at it for a minute, contemplating whether or not I wanted to use it before deciding I deserved so downtime before the day from hell I'd have to endure tomorrow. I grabbed it, turning it on, and sat down on the shower chair, spreading my legs apart. I ran the vibrator over my nipple before letting it trail the rest of the way down my body. When it reached my clit I let out a soft moan. I closed my eyes and let my head rest against the shower wall as I pushed the vibrator into my wet pussy. I moaned as I moved it fast and hard, finding my G-spot. My other hand reached down to rub my clit in small circles and the coil in my stomach released as I came hard, moaning deeply. I got out of the shower after calming down and pulled on my black bra and thong set. I walked into my bedroom and fell into bed. I was asleep before my head hit the pillow. B&A. In the morning I was woken up to the feeling of someone jumping on the bed and the sound of a pixie squealing at me to wake up. I groaned and swept my feet under her legs so she fell. Bella Swan, wake your ass up, Alice said as she pulled the blankets off of me, recovering from her fall. I'm up, I said, and sat up, looking up at her. The second my eyes landed on her, my breath fell away from me. She had her short hair flat ironed as always and her hazel eyes were smoky. Her plump red lips looked so kissable, but what really got my attention was what she was wearing. A tight red strapless dress hugged her every curve and left little to the imagination, and to top it off she was wearing black fuck me pumps to add to her short height. I looked up at her only to see her staring at me. I gave her a confused look before looking down at myself, realizing I was only wearing a bra and a thong. I blushed before getting up. "So are you ready to play Bella Barbie?" she asked, bouncing up and down, and my eyes focused on her tits bouncing. "Bella," she yelled, and I looked up at her face. "Oh, yeah, I guess," I said, and she gestured to the chair in front of my vanity. I sat down and let her work her magic. While she primped and prepared me, I wondered what this place was going to be like. "Done. Now put this on," she said, tossing some garment at me and pushing me into the bathroom. I put on the clothes and realized it was a silver and sapphire blue wraparound strapless dress that stopped mid-thigh. It hugged my boobs, pushing them up and making them see larger than a C cup. I walked out of the bathroom and Alice gasped, letting her eyes skim over me before resting on my boobs, then my legs, then back up. "So do I look okay?" I asked, and she just nodded. I turned to my floor-length mirror and gasped. My hair was wavy and had added volume. My eyes were lined in silver glittery eyeliner and my lips were red and shimmery. "Now slip on those heels and let's go," Alice said, pointing to some silver heels in the corner. I pulled on the shoes and walked into the foyer, opening the door and walking out with Alice behind me. I let Alice drive since she was the only one who knew where it was. She sang along to some new pop song on the radio as I stared out the window. 20 minutes later we pulled up to a large brick building with a door and no windows. I looked at Alice skeptically. "It's okay, Bella," she said, and got out of the car. I got out reluctantly and followed her inside. The inside looked fairly normal. There was a reception desk and chair for waiting, and I relaxed. We walked up to the receptionist and Alice winked at her. "We have a deluxe appointment, it's under Cullen," Alice said in a seductive voice, and I looked away. "Ah yes, Miss Cullen, you have a session with another girl and our two finest workers," the receptionist said as a woman with blonde hair came out to the right. "Cullen and Weber party," the blonde said, pulling up her short button-up white dress that showed her double D breasts extremely well. Alice pulled me into the doorway the blonde came out of, and a girl with black hair and glasses followed us in. "Good afternoon, ladies, I'm Rosalie, but you can call me Rose, and my partner is in the other room. Her name is Jessica and we will be serving you today," she said with a wink. "Now what are your names?" she asked with a purr, and I shivered. "I'm Alice and this is Bella," Alice said. "I'm Angela," said the girl with black hair. "Who here doesn't know what we do here?" Rose said. "What do you mean?" I asked. "It's just a massage place, right?" Rose laughed a very sexy laugh. "Oh honey, we are so much more," she said. "We pleasure you in groups. We give you the experience of a lifetime, my dear," she said, and I heard Angela moan quietly. "Follow me, my darlings," Rose said, and started strutting down the hall. We all followed her down the hall and some stairs and into a door on the right. When we stepped in, I gasped. The room had brick walls with chains hooked to them on one side. The other wall had things such as whips, dildos, strap-ons, vibrators, nipple clamps, and so much more. There was a California king-size bed in the middle of the room, and a woman with red-brown hair sat in the middle of it. Stark naked. "Now girls, feel free to do whatever you want here. We only ask that you keep it a secret," the girl on the bed said. "Oh, and I'm Jessica, by the way," she said. Angela and I stared at them in disbelief, but Alice just started stripping before grabbing Rosalie and pulling her over to the bed. I shrugged and started taking off my dress and shoes. I turned to Angela and found her in her bra and panties also. She was pretty hot with a nice full chest and great legs. I pulled her to me and kissed her hard. I pushed my tongue into her mouth and our tongues battles for dominance as I unclasped her bra and started kneading her breasts hard. She moaned into my mouth and I felt someone behind me pull me away from Angela and toss me on the bed. Jessica sat on top of me, straddling me, and she unhooked my bra before leaning down to bite my nipple hard. I moaned loudly as she began suckling on me like a baby. She began to kiss lower, moving downwards, but I protested. What are you doing?" I asked her, and she winked. "The same thing your friend is doing to Rosie over there," she said, nodding to the other side of the bed. I looked over and gasped, seeing Alice in between Rose's legs devouring her while Rose pulled on Alice's hair and moaned. I thought that this would make me feel jealous, but it only turned me on more. I felt Jessica slide my thong down my legs and toss it across the room. I spread my legs for her and she looked up at me with lust. I smirked at her but quickly lost my train of thought when Jessica started placing open-mouthed kisses up my legs and stopping when she got to my dripping folds. I quickly got tired of this and I grabbed her hair, putting her where I wanted her, and she chuckled before diving and licking up and down my wet pussy in a slow rhythm. She would lick my clit in 3 circles before licking down to my entrance and thrusting her tongue inside of me. This went on for a while before she thrust 3 fingers inside of me, moving them quickly, and my back immediately arched upwards. I felt someone move above me and looked up to see Angela's bare, wet pussy above me. I couldn't help myself as I wrapped my arms around her thighs, pulling her down so she could ride my face. I licked her clit over and over and enjoyed listening to her moan. I kept moaning while Jessica fucked me with her fingers fast, and just when I started to get close to coming she pulled away and I groaned against Angela. I kept pleasuring Angela until she came and her juices flowed into my mouth. I licked up every drop and she got off of my face. She moved away from me to where I couldn't see her, and I felt so wet and frustrated that I couldn't help but move my hand down to rub my clit. I closed my eyes and moaned as I imagined Rose doing it herself. I kept touching myself until I felt something at my entrance. I opened my eyes and almost came at the sight of Rose standing over me with a 10-inch strap on. She grinned at me. "Get on your hands and knees for me, gorgeous," she whispered seductively, and I shivered before obeying her orders. I shook my ass at her and I heard her growl at me before she slammed the plastic cock into me roughly. "Oh fuck, Rose," I screamed as she started pounding into me roughly. I shook with the sheer pleasure of Rose fucking me and I had a hard time keeping upright. Somewhere in the back of my mind I recognized the sound of Alice coming, but I could hardly focus on my own pleasure. Rose continued to pound into me and she leaned forward to not only rub my clit hard but to whisper in my ear. "I wanted to fuck you since I saw you walk through that door, gorgeous," she said with a slight southern drawl. "Oh trust me hun, I want to taste you and fuck you and make you scream my name. You are so fucking sexy," I gritted out as she moved faster. "Oh god yes Rose, don't stop, I'm gonna oh fuck yes," I screamed as I came so hard and my muscles clenched around the fake cock. She pulled out of me and I immediately scrambled to my feet and grabbed her, wrapping my arms around her and kissing her, not only because she was hot and sexy and this was like a sex club, but because she was so gorgeous and I honestly felt something pulling me to her. I felt confused, but to hell with that, right now I was going to pleasure this beautiful woman. I grabbed a vibrator off the wall and walked back over to where she was laying sprawled out on the bed. I turned on the vibrator and she realized I was there. I moved above her and kissed her neck and started leaving a trail of kisses down to her breasts, worshipping her. I kissed each breast before biting and sucking on them lightly while she gasped and moaned slightly. Her moans spurred me on and I moved the vibrator down to rest on her clit. She moaned my name and that broke my willpower and restraint. I thrust the vibrator into her and looked her in the eyes. "You are so fucking sexy when you moan my name," I whispered in her, being the little minx that she has moaned my name again before smirking. I laughed and twisted the vibrator inside of her, hitting her G-spot, and she moaned louder. "You like when I fuck your sweet pussy, baby girl?" I asked. "God yes, keep talking like that," she moaned out, and I grinned. Someone likes dirty talk, don't you?" I asked, and she nodded. "Well good, because I'm going to fuck your wet pussy with this cock and watch you ride while I talk dirty to you, naughty girl," I said, and she whimpered. I realized the girls were watching us and I smirked. "Angela, come sit on her face while I fuck her." Alice and Jessica get in a 69 position, but Alice get a dildo and pound into me while you're licking her pussy, I ordered, and they all got into position while I continued fucking Rose. Angela moaned as Rose ate her out and I moaned when I felt something push into my pussy. I leaned forward to capture Angela's lips with a searing kiss. We swallowed each other's moans as I pushed the vibrator further into Rose's pussy and used my other hand to rub her clit roughly. The room was filled with the sounds of gasping, whimpering, and moaning and the smell of impending orgasms. The dildo Alice was working into me hit my G-spot over and over, and I could feel myself close to the edge. Rose came first with my name falling from her lips, but it was muffled against Angela's pussy, which she seconds later came from the vibrations of Rose moaning. Alice pounded the cock into me faster, still hitting my sweet spots, and I came moaning her name and Rose's name over and over. I collapsed on top of a sweaty, beautiful Rose and listened to the sound of Alice and Jessica coming together. We all laid there in a heap for a while, letting our breathing even out. Alice crawled over to me and curled up against me while I curled up against Rose. "So I see you met my girlfriend," Alice whispered in my ear, and I looked at her as pain slashed through my heart. What?" I asked, and she smiled. "Rose and I started dating a month ago. I wanted to tell you, but I didn't know how you would take it," she said. "Oh well, that's great," I said, but my voice broke. I got up stretching and went searching for my clothes, trying to keep my tears at bay. "Hun, there was one more thing," I heard Rose's voice say, and I froze but didn't turn to them. "We were wondering if you'd join us," Alice said, and I laughed. "What a fuck buddy?" I asked as I turned to her. She frowned. "No, Bells is another partner. I love you, Bella Swan, I always have, and I know you love me too. I love Rose also, and I know you two feel something for each other, so please let's give it a chance," she said, and I grinned. "You love me?" I asked, and she nodded. In seconds my lips were on hers in a passionate kiss. I pulled away and kissed Rose also, already feeling our bond become stronger. "I've always loved you, Allie, and Rose is so amazing. I feel something for her too, so of course I'll join you," I said as tears fell down my face. Alice wiped them away and hugged me to her. We fell back with Rose and cuddled against each other, just enjoying each other's company and looking towards the future with this newfound possibility, and maybe the daydreams of the future awesome sex. So tell me what you think. Was it good, terrible, or just okay? Thanks for watching.